Tonight, we start with a major development in not just one, but two 14-year-old cold cases, as Javon Baker and Deonta Marshall are now behind bars. Both face capital murder charges for a shooting on Chico Road back in April of 2012. However, Marshall has also been identified as a suspect in a separate shooting that happened just 2 months later in June and has already been serving time for other crimes. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Brooke Buckner. Meanwhile, as early voting for primary runoff elections continues across the state, Attorney General Tim Griffin announced 8 people have been arrested for influencing the outcome of the 2024 primary runoff for Justice of the Peace in District 9 out east in Phillips County. Here's a list of some of those arrested, including Lita Johnson, a teacher at Marville School District who won the runoff. She told multiple voters to illegally change the address on their voter registration so they could vote for her in the runoff. The others were charged for fraudulently changing their address to allow them to vote in that district, despite their actual address dictating that they vote elsewhere. Patients at one of the state's most vital hospitals could soon pay more for care. Negotiations between White River Health and United Healthcare are stalled and time is running out. THV 11's Carter Thweet reports from Batesville on what's at stake.
Patients from across north central Arkansas come here to White River Health. Many of them have the same insurance provider.
Are there a lot of patients who currently use United Healthcare that come here to Batesville?
In our service area, United Healthcare, between the commercial and the MA side, has about 10,000 participants.
White River CFO Shauna Ives says those 10,000 could soon be in trouble.
So we've been negotiating back and forth with United. It's just becoming more public because now we're down to the last couple days of the negotiation, and our contract with them ends on March 31st, 2026.
When the contract ends, White River Health will be out of network for United, shutting the door on low out-of-pocket costs.
We are asking for United fair, reasonable, comparable rates to our peers in Arkansas.
Ives says if they can't get a deal done, one of the biggest consequences is going to be travel for patients who will have to go miles and miles to find another hospital in network.
The closest in-network facility that is our size is going to be traveled all the way to Jonesboro or farther than that. So we're looking at 60 to 90 minutes for a patient that's going to have to drive to get the care that they need.
United Healthcare tells us they continue to engage in good faith negotiation and hope to reach a deal. So now the clock is ticking as White River Health says they need a deal that provides fair rates and reduces paperwork for their employees.
What we're asking is reasonable. It's what our peers are getting. And it's basically also just to remove some red tape. We have presented a fair offer to United, and so right now it is in United's court to accept that offer.
In Batesville, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Carter. Other Arkansas hospitals have gone out of network or had contract disputes with United in recent years, including Baptist Health in Little Rock, Conway Regional Health System, and St. Bernard's Hospital in Jonesboro. Staying in the medical world, Baptist Health says big changes are coming to its Fort Smith Hospital. The health system plans to shift services, consolidate some care, and invest more than $20 million into the downtown campus over the next year and a half. Leaders say rising costs and staffing challenges are driving that decision, but promise more details and transparency as those changes take shape.
Let's update you on what's happening around the state burn bans wise. We've had several come in the last couple of hours. Updating those maps and graphics takes a little bit of time, but you can see that Central Arkansas is now getting in on the act. Pulaski County, Garland County, Hot Spring, Clark, and Howard counties, the newest addition to the burn bans map. And we have a high risk of wildfire now for the whole state. Now, I've got that map a little bit later on, but just wanted to update you here. No burning in Pulaski County. Mentioned that we might get close to a record high today in Little Rock. We got close, didn't quite make it 85, but 83 here in Little Rock. They did have a new record up in Harrison, in Fayetteville, and also in Fort Smith. So those 3 locations with record highs, but there's always tomorrow, and tomorrow's forecast does call for temperatures back in the upper 80s. It's kind of a hazy day out there, very warm, a little more humid as well. Our temperatures are currently in the 80s. We're at 83 in downtown Little Rock, in Fayetteville 83, Jonesboro 81, all 80s, maybe a 90-degree reading or two tomorrow. Hour by hour tonight, we'll see those numbers drop off into the lower 60s. And tomorrow, well, more sunshine. It's great, but it's going to be a little bit above average. I'll have that forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you. Tonight, Arkansas lawmakers are reviewing plans to cut 27 Department of Commerce jobs, citing funding issues and possible mismanagement. 17 positions are being eliminated from the Division of Services for the Blind, with officials pointing to excessive spending, while 10 workforce services jobs are being cut due to overstaffing. The cuts take effect March 31st, impacting employees who earn a combined $1.3 million annually. Lawmakers at the nation's capital continue to discuss funding for the Department of Homeland Security, and despite cautious optimism for a deal to be made yesterday, lawmakers have yet to come to terms, and it's leading to airports seeing their highest wait times ever. Democrats criticized yesterday's GOP proposal for funding part of ICE without including reforms to tighten rules around warrants or prohibit officers from wearing masks. But Senate Majority Leader John Thune rejected the Democrats' counter, saying it's not even close to being real. And today, the acting TSA administrator testified about the growing impacts and human toll on officers.
Our officers are doing a tremendous job showing up every day at work and screening the traveling public to make sure that they're making it to their destination safely. But I will say it is a real human toll to wake up and show up to work every day not knowing how you're going to pay your bills. And so I am, of course, concerned about the workforce. And the longer this shutdown goes on and more missed paychecks, we are really putting ourselves and our workforce in a perilous situation.
Earlier today, President Trump thanked ICE agents for deploying to airports and once again said he may call up the National Guard for more help. CBS News also learned the White House considered but ultimately rejected an offer from Elon Musk to cover TSA costs during the shutdown. And speaking of traveling, THV 11's Tyler Cass made the trip out to San Jose as the Razorbacks prepare for their Sweet 16 matchup against Arizona. But even though the game isn't for another 24-plus hours, the excitement is growing as Hog fans are hopeful the team will make a run at the national championship. Tyler Cass joins us now live from California. How are things going for the Hogs today, Tyler?
It's going pretty well, Brooke. Yeah, that excitement just keeps building and building, and really this has almost become a familiar sight for the Hogs and their fans. 5th time in the last 6 seasons that the Hogs have made it to the second weekend of March Madness, and heck, 3rd time in that time span that they've come to the Bay Area for a Sweet 16. They had some great moments at the Chase Center in San Francisco, including, of course, you'll remember, knocking off a 1 seed in Gonzaga. Now, about an hour further south down the Bay in San Jose, they'll look to repeat that when they get the 1-seeded Arizona Wildcats tomorrow night, 8:45 p.m. right here on THV 11. It's also unfamiliar territory for this Hog team. They've been the favorites for almost 2 weeks straight now. That will not be the case tomorrow night against the juggernaut Arizona squad. Again, the 1 seed for a reason. We will hear from John Calipari and his players later on in sports about how they plan to attack that monster. For now, though, live from the SAP Center in San Jose, Tyler Cass, THV 11 Sports.
All right, thank you, Tyler. We'll check back in with you a little bit later. But don't forget, tomorrow we will continue our coverage with our Chasing a Championship special right here on THV 11. So make sure to join Tyler and Nick Luttrell as we count down to tip-off. That'll be tomorrow at 5:30. That game, of course, will be on THV 11. Then right after our 10 o'clock newscast, you can catch my interview with multi-award-winning artist John Legend. He'll be performing at the brand new Saracen Casino Resort this summer, and here's a sneak peek at what he had to say. You are one busy guy. Do you ever sleep?
I love it. You know, I sleep plenty, and you know, I have a lot of family time as well. But when it's time to work, I work, and I'm very fortunate that my work is a lot of fun too.
More from that interview will air tomorrow night after the Hog game, but tickets are on sale right now for the June 13th show on Ticketmaster. But still to come tonight, it's spring break across Arkansas, and this year many are turning to staycations. The reason why after the break.
Mostly clear skies tonight, mild temperatures. We'll start the morning tomorrow in the lower 60s over a good part of the state, a few 50s out there as well. Tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at the potential for a few record highs across the region. I'll have the forecast. We'll go over the burn bans and wildfire danger once again when we come back.